So this is Cheryl Hazzard, and one of the things that I thought about is, as a female with Asperger's syndrome, I thought that if I just didn't have Asperger's or figured out how to conquer my Asperger's syndrome, that my life would be a lot easier or better. And maybe I'm not entirely wrong, but I don't know if I'm entirely right either. Recently, I was looking at the idea of what can I do where if I do say one thing differently, it would knock out a bunch of problems, like in one fell swoop. And how using just a few strategies like that can really be the difference between I'm faced with an enormous amount of problems that are big stressors in my life, or maybe not so much. I mean, like, say, for example, there's a nutrient deficiency that people have. Like, say I'm deficient in magnesium. And because I'm deficient in magnesium, I might have muscle cramps, headaches, my energy's zapped, I'm constantly tired. Those might be several effects of being deficient in magnesium. And and so I get hemiplegic migraines, and then so does my son. So it's a possibility that we're both deficient in magnesium. And the hemiplegic migraines, I get paralysis, vision disturbances, nausea, a nasty headache. I mean, it hurts like an expletive one shouldn't say in front of their child. But okay, so these headaches, they can take me out for at least 40 minutes, and then for the rest of the day, I'm sick as a dog, feeling nauseous, and then needing to sleep it off because I'm just absolutely fatigued and exhausted, and I have this pounding headache, right? And maybe ready to throw up. So say I take the magnesium, and it prevents me or my son from getting these headaches. And due to preventing me from getting those headaches, I'm able to then go to the store to do the grocery shopping. Or maybe my breathing is better because the magnesium helps with things like asthma. And it helps with multiple things. So I take one supplement and it helps with multiple problems. Well, I had to do battle with CPS for my child, as I've reported on in another video that I've posted on in here. So what I was thinking about is it's not I need to learn to deal with the Asperger's per se, although problem solving is something Aspies struggle with. What I'm trying to get at is that the key is to find things where if you do it and you solve this problem, it fixes a bunch of them. Like in dealing with CPS, it was typically an issue that my bills weren't paid on time and utilities were getting turned off. And that they were marking points against me because of this. And it could have been something as simple as maybe I set up automatic bill pay and leave money in the account to be able to pay the bills. Making it easier for me to get those bills paid so I don't have to work on it or focus on it and worry about it. And if I solve that problem, then they're not reporting they're not marking that as points, and then that's not going into the courtroom as she's got problems with getting the utility turned off. So that prevents that problem. That's an example of how you knock out more than one problem by fixing one thing. You got one solution and it knocks out multiple problems that kaleidoscope as a result. So, the idea is that you find those things that, it would fix a problem, and it fixes multiples. For example, reducing the stress response in my Asperger's could be beneficial, because if I'm not as stressed out and I'm not as pissed off and stressed about life and overreacting because I'm just so stressed out I don't have any coping mechanism left, well, if I'm not doing that, I might be a little less quick to yell at my son when he's acted up again, and I don't have the patience to deal with him because, I'm stressed out. So say I take something like ashwagandha for stress response, or, GABA to reduce stress, or even vitamin C for adrenal fatigue to support the adrenals because they produce the hormones that are involved in stress response. Or even, the magnesium, which does play a role in producing serotonin and dealing with stress and anxiety, or zinc. Any one of these could help with stress and anxiety, depression, that stuff. But if I'm less burnt out and able to cope better with life because I've taken those things, I might be better able to deal with my son who is, or, and this could go for any parent dealing with their child. You're better equipped to be able to stop and pause and handle things instead of just react. Which, lately, I have to admit, I've been so stressed out that I just snapped. I didn't have any coping mechanisms left to deal with my kid. I just lost it. And my son, my son needs me to be okay. My son needs me to be there in his life. And, maybe I don't have to be perfect all the time. Sooner or later, a parent is going to snap at their kid. But the point is that you want to look for solutions to problems so you don't keep having problems. If you find something that has multiple benefits. Now, I started giving my son chewable magnesium recently because he had 3 hemiplegic migraine attacks, 2 on Christmas and 1 the day after. And that's a lot in a short period of time. I mean, that's really pow. And it was frustrating. I mean, so frustrating. I felt like crying, like watching him suffer like that. And I was worried we weren't going to be able to go to Christmas dinner with my family. So I've started giving Nathan magnesium over the last week or so. And I've noticed he has not had any attacks. And I don't want to jinx it, and I may have just jinxed it, and I hope I didn't. But it's something that I'm trying with him. I got him chewable magnesium because he doesn't like to take capsules or swallow them. But if that reduces how many headaches that we're getting in between the two of us, that could make a big difference in our quality of life. Those things are so debilitating that it really has a negative effect. So, if you figure out how to knock out one problem and that problem has a ripple effect in your life, then, it's a big difference. So my question to you in your life is, what can you do in your life that would have a huge ripple effect on the problems you're having, in reducing the amount of problems you have, in changing your life so that it makes it for the better? What's that thing where if you tweaked it, you changed it, you did this one thing differently, it could change your whole life? I want you to think about that, my audience. I want you to think about that and give it a shot. Figure out what that thing is where if you tweak it or you change this or you do that, it could make a difference in your life. I hope you're successful.